This week is a very special week in the science world. On Thursday, April 22nd, uh, we will celebrate Earth Day. I'm sure at some point you've heard about Earth Day, but I wanted to give you a quick introduction of what it is, why it's important, and how it is really um, kind of decided or helped me to decide what we were working on throughout the year this year in science class. So Earth Day was created in 1970. That was a long, long time ago, even before I was born. And it was decided by the world's leaders. So it's important to know that we're not just talking about the United States, we're talking about the entire globe. The leaders came together and decided we're not treating the world very well. And we're seeing a lot of things, and scientists are telling us a lot of things that make us think that if we don't change how we treat our world, uh, bad things could happen. So let's stop right there and talk about this year. So this year we've talked a lot about our Earth, and we've talked about the water cycle, and we've talked about our resources, and we've talked about recycling, and we've also talked about the importance of reusing things and reducing what we use in order to make sure that we have things available to us for the rest of our lives. One thing that we haven't really touched on, though, is when we talked about our non-renewable resources, we talked about how once they're used up, they're done. Well, one of the things that we didn't really talk about a lot was non-renewable resources, unfortunately, like gas and coal and oil, can be very damaging to our earth, right? And because they've been used so much, they've created problems for our earth, whether it's with our air and the quality of our air not being very good. We all probably know somebody who has breathing problems. And on days where um, they're struggling to breathe, it's because we have a lot of pollution in our air or other chemicals that have gotten into the air that will cause us. Other things that have happened because we have not treated the earth very well are things like our climate, our temperature. It has changed. Here in Pennsylvania, winter used to be extremely cold and snowy. And a lot of you guys have noticed over many years now that it really doesn't get all that cold and snowy every winter. When I was a kid, we got snow for Halloween, and we pretty much had snow on the ground until probably the middle of March. And that's just not the case anymore. So, um, long story short, a lot of what we as people have done to our world over many, many years have caused it to, let's just say, get a little sick. So, Earth Day in 1970 was created to get people to realize, hey, we need to change. Just like we as people have learned to change, maybe sometimes we get in trouble for lying or for doing something we're not supposed to. We eventually change our behavior because we know if we don't change that, we're going to get in trouble or we're not going to be allowed to do the things we want to do. Well, we as a world realize that if we don't change the way we treat our earth, not be here someday. Now, it's probably going to be here for all of us, like me and you guys and our paras, but it could be like my grandkids or great grandkids or great great grandkids may have problems if we don't continue to work on how we're going to change the way we do things with our world. So, renewable resources, looking at different ways to get energy, looking how we can conserve water for our water cycle, not throwing things away the first time we use them, reuse them and continue to reuse them until we can't anymore. And that was really what the idea of Earth Day is. So this week, we're going to learn a little bit more about Earth Day. We'll watch a few videos. We'll learn about the importance of it, and we'll go into a lot more detail than what I just did. And then we'll also do a couple fun little activities. Those of you that are home, you should be checking the mail because you're going to have a package coming to you. It will also have some of your reading materials for this week in it as well, but be looking for that. Um, and we will be doing some activities together. Now, all of this week's lessons are going to be on Nearpod, so please follow those. And I will touch base with you on the other Zooms that we have to kind of let you know what we'll be doing in science this week as well. All right, guys. So enjoy this week. Think about our earth as we make our choices. If we're going to throw that plastic bottle out on the street or if we're not going to reuse something, think about Mother Earth and how we can make it